Sarah Mitchell had built her empire from the ground up. As the CEO of one of Silicon Valley's fastest-growing tech companies, she commanded boardrooms, negotiated million-dollar deals, and led a team of over 2,000 employees. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. Her days were a whirlwind of meetings, conference calls, and strategic decisions that could make or break careers. She prided herself on being observant, on reading people, on noticing details that others missed. Yet somehow, she had completely overlooked what was happening right under her own roof. It was a Tuesday evening when everything changed. Sarah arrived home later than usual, her mind still racing with thoughts of the quarterly earnings report. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. Her daughter Emma, normally bouncing around with endless energy, was nowhere to be seen. Sarah checked the living room, the kitchen, even the backyard, but Emma wasn't there. A flutter of concern crossed her mind until she heard voices drifting down from upstairs. She recognized Emma's excited chatter, but there was another voice too, one that was gentle, patient, and decidedly male. Sarah's protective instincts kicked in immediately. She climbed the stairs quickly but quietly, following the sound to Emma's bedroom. The door was slightly ajar, and what she saw through the crack made her freeze in place. Emma was sitting at her small desk, completely absorbed in what appeared to be complex mathematical equations spread across several sheets of paper. Standing beside her, explaining something with remarkable clarity and warmth, was Marcus Williams, the evening janitor who had worked in their building for the past 3 years. Sarah's first instinct was alarm. Why was the janitor in her daughter's room? How long had this been going on? But as she watched, something stopped her from bursting in. Marcus was pointing to an equation, his weathered hands moving with precision as he explained. So you see, Emma, calculus isn't scary at all. It's just a way of understanding how things change. Like when you're riding your bike down a hill, calculus can tell us exactly how fast you're going at any moment. Emma's eyes were wide with fascination. So it's like taking a picture of speed? Marcus smiled broadly, his whole face lighting up. Exactly. You've got it. You're thinking like a real mathematician now. Sarah stood there, rooted to the spot, her mind reeling. Calculus? Her 10-year-old daughter was learning calculus? She watched for several more minutes, observing how Marcus patiently answered every question Emma threw at him, never once making her feel inadequate or slow. He had a gift for teaching, that much was clear. When Marcus finally noticed Sarah standing in the doorway, he straightened up immediately, a look of concern crossing his face. Mrs. Mitchell, I apologize. I should have asked your permission. I can explain. Emma jumped up excitedly. Mom! Mr. Marcus is teaching me real math, not the boring stuff from school. Did you know that there's something called imaginary numbers? They're not even real, but they help solve real problems. Sarah's carefully controlled CEO demeanor slipped for a moment. She looked at Marcus, then at her daughter's bright, eager face, and back to Marcus again. Perhaps we should talk downstairs, she said quietly. As Marcus followed her to the living room, she could see the tension in his shoulders. He was probably expecting to be fired, maybe even worse. Sarah gestured to the couch and they both sat down. How long has this been going on? She asked, keeping her voice neutral. Marcus took a deep breath. About 6 months, ma'am. I want to assure you I never meant any harm. It started by accident, really. One evening, Emma was struggling with her homework in the lobby, while waiting for you to finish a late meeting. She was getting frustrated with long division, and I offered to help. She picked it up so quickly, asked such insightful questions, that I realized she had a real gift for mathematics. He paused, choosing his words carefully. Over the next few weeks, whenever I'd see her waiting, we'd talk about math. She kept asking for more challenging problems, and I kept providing them. When she asked if I could teach her after you got home, in her room where she could focus, I agreed. I know I should have asked your permission first, and for that, I'm truly sorry. Sarah studied the man before her, seeing him properly for the first time. She had passed Marcus in the hallways hundreds of times, offering the same polite nod she gave to everyone, never really looking, never really seeing. "You're teaching my 10-year-old daughter calculus," Sarah said slowly. "Where did you learn to do that?" Marcus met her eyes steadily. "I have a PhD in mathematics from MIT. Mrs. Mitchell, I specialized in number theory and taught at the university level for 15 years. Sarah felt as though the ground had shifted beneath her. "You have a PhD from MIT and you're working as a janitor." A flash of pain crossed Marcus's face. "Life doesn't always go according to plan, ma'am. 5 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The medical bills were astronomical. I maxed out our savings, took out loans, sold everything we had. She fought hard for 2 years, but in the end we lost her. By the time it was over, I had lost everything, including my position at the university. I had taken too much time off, couldn't focus on research. I needed a job with flexible hours because I was raising our daughter alone. Janitorial work provided that flexibility and enough income to keep us afloat." Sarah felt her throat tighten with unexpected emotion. "I had no idea. I'm so sorry." Marcus shook his head. "No need for apologies, ma'am. I don't regret a single decision I made. Every moment I had with my wife was precious. My daughter Maya is in high school now, thriving, and that's what matters. As for teaching Emma, it reminded me why I fell in love with mathematics in the first place. That child has an extraordinary mind. Mrs. Mitchell, she thinks in ways that most adults never achieve. She doesn't just memorize formulas, she understands the underlying principles." Sarah stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the darkening sky. She thought about all the expensive tutors she had hired for Emma, none of whom had sparked even a fraction of the enthusiasm she had just witnessed. She thought about her own success, built on recognizing talent and potential, yet she had walked past a brilliant mathematician every day without seeing him. "Marcus," she said, turning back to face him, "I owe you an apology and I owe you my gratitude. You've given my daughter something I couldn't despite all my resources. You've shown her the beauty in learning, not just the mechanics of it." She paused, an idea forming in her mind. "Tell me, would you be interested in a different position? My company has been developing educational software, but we've been struggling to make it engaging, especially for advanced young learners. We need someone who understands not just the mathematics, but how to make it accessible and exciting. We need you." Marcus stared at her in disbelief. "Mrs. Mitchell, I appreciate the offer, but I don't have any software development experience." Sarah smiled, the same smile she wore when closing a major deal. "But you have something more valuable. You have passion, expertise, and the ability to inspire. The technical skills can be taught. What you have cannot. I'm offering you a position as our Director of Educational Content Development. You'll lead a team, design curricula, and yes, you'll need to continue teaching Emma because I don't think she'd forgive either of us if you stopped." Tears welled up in Marcus's eyes, and he quickly wiped them away. "I don't know what to say." Sarah extended her hand. "Say yes. Say you'll help us create something that gives other children the same opportunity Emma has had. Say you'll let me right a wrong that I didn't even know. I was committing by never really seeing the people around me." Marcus stood and shook her hand firmly. "Yes, absolutely yes." Over the following months, Marcus transformed the company's educational division. His programs began winning awards. Schools across the country adopted them, and children who had previously struggled with mathematics were suddenly excelling. Emma continued her lessons with Marcus, now officially with her mother's blessing, and even started mentoring other young students. Sarah learned a profound lesson about assumptions, about truly seeing people, and about the fact that brilliance and wisdom don't always come in the packages society expects. She shared Marcus's story at company meetings, not to embarrass him, but to remind her team that talent and value exist everywhere if we're willing to look beyond titles and positions. 1 year after that pivotal evening, Sarah stood at a company event, watching Marcus receive an innovation award for his educational programs. Emma was there too, beaming with pride for the teacher who had changed her life. As Sarah reflected on the journey, she realized that sometimes the most important discoveries happen not in boardrooms or laboratories, but in the quiet moments when we finally open our eyes to see the extraordinary people who have been there all along, waiting to be noticed, waiting to share their gifts with the world. Thank you so much for watching this inspiring story on Kindness True Stories. If this touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more amazing stories of kindness, compassion, and human connection to you every single day. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our upcoming stories. And remember, kindness can be found in the most unexpected places. See you in the next story, and keep spreading love and kindness wherever you go.